Don in London, hello. It's June 9th, 2009, and the time is just coming up to 9 in the morning. My video is all about recovery from addiction to either substance or behaviour, and my substance addiction was alcohol, my behaviour, trying to be the best I could, trying to strive for perfection. And maybe these days I've altered the goalposts, or I've altered what I'm looking for in life. I'm looking to find out who I am on a daily basis, and from knowing who I am on a daily basis I can make some good choices about what I may do or may not do. So one of the things I try to avoid doing, and sometimes avoidance is probably a good way of describing it, is not drink a day at a time. What helps me? My family, community, society, and a fellowship, the fellowship of AA, Alcoholics Anonymous, full of unique, authentic people, I believe. And as unique, authentic people, I cannot speak for them, and I certainly cannot speak for a fellowship, which I belong to, but I can share my experience, strength and hope here, and how sobriety is working for me on a daily basis. So, yesterday, I think I said last week on Monday, I went to 2 meetings of AA, the fellowship, with the hope of getting hold of my anniversary chip. And the anniversary chip, the chip is a gamble, if you like. It's synonymous with Las Vegas and gambling, and every time we took a drink we gambled with our lives towards the end, because we never knew quite where we would end up. So last week, having gone to 2 meetings, the chip cupboard was shut, locked and not available, and I went to another meeting and they didn't have the anniversary chip, so I had to wait a while. And last night I went back to my home group meeting over in the Boltons, which is a step and tradition meeting, and I'll share more about that in a minute. But the chip cupboard was still locked, but the person who had the key, or the master key, happened to wander past, and I just commented, "It's a real shame the chip cupboard's locked." And he said it shouldn't be. And anyway, the upshot was I got my anniversary chip. So it looks like this. It's a little bronze thing with a V on it, which means 5 years sober. That was last Monday, or a week yesterday. So the 1st of June was my 5-year anniversary, being sober one day at a time. So the chip is a symbol, if you like, for me, that I have actually achieved something and started learning how to be me. And it's a long process. So I'm up for the long process, because if I only have to do it for a day, I don't get worried or concerned that I have to do it for the rest of my life, although I know it in my heart. So the gift for me is, 5 years on, where am I? Well, just simply finding out who I am daily, what I can and cannot do. And the fellowship helps me, that's AA. It's got lots of mention of higher powers, and the reason why it has a mention of higher powers is simply to make us right-sized, I guess. No bigger, no smaller than any other human, but also no bigger or smaller in terms of our willpower. And as I found in drinking times, my willpower sort of faded away. And addiction is you cannot conquer it with willpower. All you can do is abate a steady return back to drinking by being in the company of people who share experience, strength and hope and wisdom. So family helped me, community helps me, my doctor helps me, the diabetic clinic, because I've got type 1 diabetes, not a lifestyle issue. I just got it because I was around to get it, and that is the gift, really. No matter who we are or what we are susceptible to nature and providence. So nature determines. Sometimes it doesn't quite work out the way we would wish it, and sometimes our lifetimes are going to be cut short, and more often by mankind and what we've done. So AA, it helps me every day, and at every meeting we share the preamble, and it goes like this. Alcoholics Anonymous is a fellowship of men and women who share their experience, strength and hope with each other, that they may solve their common problem and help others to recover from alcoholism. The only requirement for membership is a desire to stop drinking. There are no dues or fees for AA membership. We are self-supporting through our own contributions. AA is not allied with any sect, denomination, politics, organisation or institution, does not wish to engage in any controversy, neither endorses nor opposes any causes. Our primary purpose is to stay sober and help other alcoholics to achieve sobriety. And in my early days of trying to get sober, I was really very, very angry and rageful, and it took me quite a while from the first meeting to the second meeting of AA it took 5 years to go back and have another listen. And that was because I didn't know who I was, I didn't know what was wrong with me, I just was raging inside at my own situation and what I'd done to myself, and what the world had done to me. And actually the world hadn't done anything different to me or anybody else. It's just that I had an absolute addiction to a substance which I could not stop. And, you know, one of the resounding things about alcoholics is, number one, resentment will kill us. Number two is self-obsession, self-will gone mad, or run riot, as is said. So in the program of 12 steps of action for individuals, the first one I had to understand was being powerless over alcohol and life becoming unmanageable when I drank. And if I were to do it on a daily basis, I would stay insane. So the program is there to try and help me be restored or gain some sanity at last. I don't know whether it was restored or gained, and then how to let go and let the whole world back in. That's sometimes called let go and let God, but it depends on your belief. Higher powers for me are anything which I don't have power over, and that's often people, places and things. I'm just a normal human-sized being, so I need to rub along and get along with. And then I was asked to do the fearless moral inventory, and I did, quite fearfully. So there were still one or two things to find out what was hidden, and I did find out what was hidden, and then I had to share this information, or didn't have to. I shared it with another human, so it right-sized me. And often when we share our fearless moral inventory, we realise that if there's an adjective or a word for it, it's been done tens of millions of times before, and we need to know and learn how to forgive ourselves and to forgive anybody else who we think has done us wrong, because we forget we had a part in it. We were there in the first place. And yesterday it was all about step 5 in the meeting, which is sharing our inventory with another person. It's a purging process, if you like, but it doesn't purge away the areas where we need to work on, our defects of character. And that's where we are with the 6th month of AA. It says in here, or on this piece of paper, we were entirely ready to have God or good conscience, or whatever it is, remove all these defects of character. And being ready doesn't mean it's all going to be hunky-dory and somebody's going to make us into perfect humans. What it means is we're aware of those traps in our behaviour and our attitude which will take us back to fear, putting on a brave face, and fighting out of ego. So these days I'm looking for courage, faith and confidence, which is more to do with step 7. So that's where we got to, and you know, the meeting last night was absolutely excellent, and I can't say very much about it because it's private. It's under the seal of anonymity, and that's good. Anonymity provides sanctuary to find the truth. Anyway, I use literature here, daily reflections, and for June 9th it says living in the now. First we try living in the now just in order to stay sober, and it works. Once the idea has become a part of our thinking, we find that living life in 24-hour segments is an effective and satisfying way to handle many other matters as well. It goes on to say, one day at a time. To a newcomer, this and other one-liners of AA may seem ridiculous. The passwords of AA fellowship. Fellowship can become lifelines in moments of stress. Each day can be like a rose unfurling according to the plan of a power greater than myself. My program should be planted in the right location, just as it will need to be groomed, nourished and protected from disease. My planting will require patience, and my realizing that some flowers will be more perfect than others. Each stage of the petals unfolding can bring wonder and delight if I do not interfere or let my expectations override my acceptance. And this brings me serenity, and that's the gift, you see. I know it's a great big homily there, but what it's saying ultimately is, if I have my eyes open to the good of living, I've got a better chance. And if I have my eyes open when living isn't too good, but I can actually understand where I am and find some acceptance around it, I'm onto a winner, and I can be a part of life. So I haven't been able to do as Bill sees it, the other reading. Maybe I just need to let it be where it is. So for me, working on my defects of character or areas of development, I use the serenity prayer, which helps me always. God, or in good conscience, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and wisdom to know and learn the difference just for today.